Hey guys, my name is Matimio, and welcome to another episode of Sunday Mailbox. This is a video series where you, the viewer, can submit your gaming or Battlefield 3 related questions, and then I will give my humble opinion on them. To get the technicalities out of the way, if you would like to submit your own question that could be featured in a future episode, you can do so by leaving a comment down below or by sending me a YouTube message. So the first question for today comes in from Mr. Blue, who asks, "Hey Matimio, in the next Battlefield, what if a bleed function were added into the game? When you get shot, you bleed unless on a med kit. Now this in itself is overpowered, but what if when the player is under 5% health, it slowly drains as he bleeds out? This could be a solution to the annoying 2%, 1%, or 0% getaways. What do you think?" So I get this question asked all the time, and I think it's because a lot of people out there despise when they lose a kill because the target was able to get away with 5% or less health. I mean, the name of the game of Battlefield 3 and really any other first-person shooter out there is to kill the enemy team, and you're always looking for that little excuse to get some sort of kill. But I would not want to see this added into Battlefield because it would emphasize the medic role even more so than it is in Battlefield 3. I mean, in Battlefield 3, the reason why it's so popular is, well, because of the tools itself, but also of the weapons. But can you imagine if this bleed out effect was also implemented into the game? Like, you would see even more medics on the battlefield, because while getting to 5% health doesn't happen like every single engagement, it happens a lot. I mean, it happens at least a couple of times during a match, and if you're dying to a bleed out effect, you're gonna be less likely to roll as an engineer or less likely to roll as a support, because then you're having to rely on your teammates. And while that's a good thing and you do want to have teamwork aspect of it, when there is so much emphasis on that med pack, not only to regenerate your health faster, but to get rid of this bleed out effect, I think it would result in even more medics running around in the battlefield. And I know that some people, they don't mind that, but for me personally, I would like to see more class diversity and not just everyone rolling with the same kit. So the next question for today comes in from Andy, who asks, "Medal of Honor Warfighter was a massive fail, but do you think that Battlefield 4 could take the few good things from the game, like the gun customization and some of the class specifications, such as heavy hitter rounds and thermal scans?" Now, Medal of Honor was a pretty big fail, but one of the things that they did get right, and like you said, was the customization, and I really like that aspect of the game. But one of the things that I always kinda was disappointed by the customization was that it gave you a lot more options for aesthetics, like you could change slight things here and there that would make your weapon look a little bit more unique and different to all the other guns. It didn't really change the stats of that particular weapon. So when I first went into the game thinking that there was gonna be all of these different ways that you could kind of tweak your weapon to really tailor it to how you wanted to use it, what it really came down to was that a couple of different options changed the stats slightly, while everything else was just purely for looks, and it had absolutely no influence on the gun. And so for Battlefield 4, what I would kind of like to see is, well, to have more aesthetics and things along those lines. I'm all for that, but to also just to kind of maybe flush out that system a little bit more, so that if you do change things slightly, while it doesn't need to have a gigantic impact on the weapon, having maybe just a slight tweak here and there could be kind of cool. As for your specialization recommendations, if I remember right, the thermal scan acted like the motion balls from Battlefield Bad Company 2, and I'm all for that. I've always been an advocate for that for the recon class. But the heavy hitter rounds, if I remember, basically made it so that your ammunition hit harder, or at least for a kind of a period amount of time. And I never really like that when I play an FPS, because if you guys remember what happened in Battlefield Bad Company 2 or Call of Duty, if they have some sort of perk or specialization that allows you to hit harder, those specializations are used all the time because you take out your enemies faster and you're going to win more firefights. And one of the things for Battlefield Bad Company 2, and the reason why I don't think that they had anything like that into Battlefield 3, is because everyone used Magnum ammo. That was like the mandatory specialization. And so a heavy hitter round, I'm not really excited about, or I really wouldn't want that in Battlefield 4, because I think it would take away from the customization options, because I think everyone would feel like they need to use it to be effective. So the final question for today comes in from Grant, who asks, "What if there were around 5 different knives that could be unlocked in Battlefield 4 and chosen from? There could be options between different neck knives, fixed blade, or even folder knives. Also, what if they bring in the combat tomahawk from Medal of Honor armor into the next Battlefield game. All of these knives could be made to have a different takedown and deploy animations, which would make a lot of people happy. So I am all for this. I couldn't think of any negative repercussions for having different knife animations or having different knife skins added into the upcoming game. And what would be really cool is if they kind of had it like a trophy system, where not only you get the dog tag, which is you can kind of show off when you kill your enemies, but also having the cool knife that you want. So if you get some sort of achievement unlocked, you get a particular number of kills with a certain weapon, you get like 1,000 kills with the SV98, you get this cool knife to go along with it, so you can kind of show that off every time you go for a knife kill. I think it's cool. It wouldn't really have any effect on the gameplay, but it would give people more options. Everyone likes more customization, and so I am all for that. But that is about it for today's Sunday Mailbox, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you have a question that you would like me to answer in a future episode, let me know down below in the comment section or send me a YouTube message. But until tomorrow, guys, have a good one and take it easy.